Hi, Sean Geithner here with Believe Teas. And today I wanted to talk to you about the most important factors that you need to remember when you're brewing tea, because if you don't consider all of these, then your tea is not going to be the best possible taste or have the best possible aroma, and you want to make sure that whatever you're making it the best way you possibly can. Things to remember are the water, the type of water, because tea is 99% water, so you want to pick a water that tastes good so that your tea tastes good as well. Now that might be out of your tap, it might be bottled water, whatever you like. The second thing you need to remember is the time in which you brew it. The third factor to remember is the temperature. And finally, aeration or bubbles, very important. To help with this, I've developed a brewing chart, and this is for loose leaf tea. Tea bags are an entirely different story. The leaves are chopped up, so the brewing chart that I have developed does not apply to tea bags, but it does apply to all of the loose leaf teas that I offer and that you can get other places as well. And it's pretty simple. It's on the back of all my packaging. I have one on the back of my pouches. It's on my website, believeteas.com, and it's also on the back of my tins. And as long as you know what type of tea you have, whether it's a black, an oolong, a green, a white, or an herbal, then you can find out the correct brewing instructions on this chart. I've got temperature on there in word form, and I also have it in numbers so that you can use either to help you figure out how to brew your tea correctly. We talked about temperature. It's very important. Blacks, teas, and herbals, they're your easiest because you can typically bring your water to about a full boil and then steep your teas or your herbals. Remember, and herbals are not from the tea plant, they're from other plants. They can be brewed 4 to 6 minutes depending on how strong you like it. Now your oolong teas are semi-oxidized, so you have to be a little more careful with those. You don't want to bring your water to a full boil. You want it to be just medium bubbles. It's just starting to get to that full boil, but it's not quite there yet. And then you can steep those leaves 3 to 4 minutes, depending on how strong you like it. But what's special about oolong tea leaves is that you can re-steep those same leaves over and over again during the same day. They're larger, they're typically rolled, and you're getting, you're able to get more infusions out of that type of tea leaf, oolong tea leaves. Now your greens and your whites, they're very delicate. They're unoxidized, and they're light, they're fluffy, and you have to make sure that you're not burning those leaves. So when you're bringing your water to the correct temperature, you want it to be just a steaming temperature. It's just starting to steam, and that's going to be hot enough. Otherwise, you're going to burn the leaves. And then for your greens, you only want to steep 1 to 2 minutes tops, and your whites, depending on where they come from, they could be anywhere from 1 minute to sometimes even 5 minutes, depending on where the tea leaves are grown. But anyway, just you want to be very careful with your greens and your whites, your green and your white teas. So that kind of gives you a basic understanding. And again, all this is in my brewing chart, but the receptacle that you're using, or the infuser that you're using to brew your tea, is very important as well, because you need some way to strain the leaves out of the water so that you've got your infusion left behind. I've got a couple of options on my website. I have a stump teapot. It's very nice. It's about a 2-cup capacity. It's got the infuser built in. So you would heat your water on the stove. You would put your tea leaves in here. You would pour your water in, let it steep. When you're done, then you can strain the leaves right out. Very nice and easy to use. I have another infuser that's just a simple lidded infuser, and it's great to use in single mugs or in teapots. And same idea, you're heating your water on the stove. You're putting your tea leaves into the infuser. You're pouring the water over your cup, your teapot, whatever you're using, and then when you're done, you strain the leaves out. And the lid actually uses, or can be used as a coaster as well for the hot infuser when you're done with it. And then I also have another container, or another infuser, called the Timolino Gravity Pot. And it's kind of a nice one too. Let me take it out of the box so you can take a look at it. The reason it's called the gravity pot is because it uses gravity to let the liquid fall into your cup. You're going to heat your water on the stove. Once again, you're going to put your tea leaves inside. You're going to close it up. Well, you put your water in, you close it up, you let it steep, and then when this sits on your cup or your mug, this spring action is going to allow the water to come out or the tea to come out into your cup, and the tea leaves are going to stay behind. So it's a nice little accessory for your tea collection, and it's very simple to use, and this holds about 16 ounces. So this is another option for you. And we've been talking a lot about heating the water on the stove. You notice I didn't say anything about putting it in the microwave. It's really not a good idea to heat your water in the microwave because you're not going to get the same amount of aeration that you are when you're heating it on the stove. If you have a tea kettle to heat your water on the stove, that's the best way to do it. But if you don't, even a saucepan to heat your water and see where your bubbles are when you're heating it is very important because you're getting that aeration, and by getting those bubbles involved in the water, it's going to bring out the flavor, it's going to bring out the aroma, and it's just going to be your best cup of tea. So that kind of wraps up best brewing practices. I wanted to talk to you about those today. And again, I've got my chart on my website and lots of information on www.believeteas.com about what we've talked about today. All my accessories that I showed you I have available to you on the website, and all kinds of teas and herbals as well for you to choose from. Thank you so much and have a delightful day.